Hello everyone, and welcome to Story is Life, where we bring stories to life, one tale at a time. I'm James, your storyteller.
There's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security.
You're talking about dreams?
Inside Inception, a journey into the mind of Nolan today. We've got something special for you, the making of Inception, a film that has left an unforgettable mark on cinema. Not only did it gross over $837 million worldwide, making it the fourth highest grossing film of 2010, but it also won 4 Academy Awards and earned multiple Golden Globe nominations. But here's something you might not know: Christopher Nolan spent nearly 10 years bringing this mind-bending masterpiece to life. 10 years? What took so long? How did it all come together? In this deep dive, we'll explore the making of Inception, uncovering the challenges, behind-the-scenes magic, and fascinating facts that shaped the film. But before we dive in, let's hand it over to Leonardo for a quick recap of the story.
Well, Inception is a very ambitious, cerebral, almost existential, high-octane Hollywood action film. I think I found a way home. And this last job, that's how I get there. And I was really attracted to it because through this insane film that goes through 4 different stages of the human subconscious, it also is this therapy session for the main character Cobb. As he goes deeper and deeper into the dream state, he comes closer and closer to the things that haunt him. It is this cathartic journey that he goes on to come to grips with what has been plaguing him.
Alright, without further ado, let's jump right into the incredible behind-the-scenes facts about Inception. Oh, and hey, if you like these types of contents, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out and keeps the dream alive. Let's get started. The story behind the script of Inception. The origins of Inception can be traced back to Christopher Nolan's fascination with the nature of dreams and reality, a theme that had intrigued him since his university days. As a student, Nolan experienced what he described as lucid dreaming, where he became aware that he was dreaming and even attempted to control his dreams. He recalled how, due to financial constraints, he would stay up until 4 a.m., wake up early to grab a free breakfast at the student hall, and then return to sleep. During this fragmented sleep state, he became conscious of his dreams while still experiencing them, an experience he later referred to as his own superpower. This early encounter with dream manipulation planted the seed for what would eventually become Inception. Initially, Nolan envisioned Inception as a horror film about dream stealers, a concept that revolved around the idea of intruding into someone's subconscious and distorting their reality. However, as he developed the idea further, he felt that the horror genre didn't quite capture the full potential of the concept. Instead, he shifted the film's framework to that of a heist movie, despite his reservations that traditional heist films often lacked emotional depth. Unlike most heist films, which are deliberately superficial in emotional terms, Nolan wanted Inception to explore deep human emotions, particularly guilt, loss, and redemption, through the character of Dom Cobb. Nolan spent nearly a decade refining the screenplay, drawing inspiration from films that explored the idea that the world around you might not be real, such as The Matrix, Dark City, The 13th Floor, and his own film Memento. These films all toyed with perceptions of reality and the blurred lines between dreams and consciousness, a theme that Nolan sought to expand upon. In 2001, after completing Memento, Nolan pitched Inception to Warner Bros., but he ultimately decided that he wasn't ready to tackle a project of such complexity and scale. Realizing that Inception required a massive budget to do justice to its infinite dreamscape, he chose to gain more experience directing large-scale films before returning to the idea. This led him to embark on Batman Begins, 2005, and The Dark Knight, 2008, which were both massive successes and gave him the knowledge, tools, and reputation required to handle a blockbuster of Inception's magnitude. After The Dark Knight, Nolan felt ready to take on Inception. By this time, he had developed a key narrative breakthrough. What if multiple people could share the same dream? This question was crucial in completing the script. Nolan realized that by removing the privacy of dreams, he could create an infinite number of alternate realities where people could interact in meaningful and dramatic ways. He believed that once the concept of shared dreaming was introduced, the possibilities for tension, stakes, and narrative depth became limitless. Now confident in both his vision and his ability to execute it, Nolan spent 6 months completing the script, focusing on balancing intricate dream mechanics with an emotionally compelling story. His experiences working on big-budget productions had prepared him to ensure that the scale of Inception felt infinite, as dreams have no physical limits. He wanted the film's world to feel as boundless as the human imagination, ensuring that by the time the audience reached the final act, it felt as though they could go anywhere. With the screenplay complete, Nolan finally returned to Warner Bros., this time with the reputation and experience to secure the massive budget the film needed. The result was one of the most ambitious and thought-provoking films of the 21st century, a cinematic masterpiece that continues to captivate audiences and spark debates about dreams, reality, and the power of the subconscious. The iconic hallway fight scene, one of the most unforgettable sequences in Inception, is the hallway fight scene, a moment that left audiences in awe. But what makes it even more impressive is how it was created. No CGI. No shortcuts. Just pure, meticulously crafted practical effects. Christopher Nolan has always been a firm believer in using practical effects over digital ones, and Inception was no exception. His philosophy is simple: dreams feel real when you're in them. So, to make the dream world feel as tangible as possible, he took on the massive challenge of building 3 separate hallway sets, each designed to capture a different aspect of the scene's mind-bending physics. The hallway fight scene was filmed at Cardington Airship Hangar in Bedfordshire, England, a massive former RAF aircraft hangar that Nolan frequently uses for large-scale sets. This location provided the necessary space to construct the ambitious rotating corridor, giving the production team full control over lighting, movement, and camera work. 1. A stationary hallway for standard dialogue and close-up shots. 2. A hallway mounted on a gimbal, allowing it to tilt and create the effect of altered gravity. 3. A full 360-degree rotating hallway, designed specifically for the zero-gravity fight. This massive set spun completely around, making it appear as if Arthur was floating and fighting in mid-air. The rotating hallway was built as a full-scale, 100-foot-long set that spun a full 360 degrees on a massive mechanical rig. Unlike green screen or wirework effects, this method created real physics-based movement, forcing the actors and stunt team to adapt their performances to the constantly changing environment. To make the fight feel as authentic as possible, Joseph Gordon-Levitt performed almost all of his own stunts. He spent weeks training to master the complex choreography, learning to fight while being flipped upside down and launched in every direction. The fight had to be precisely timed with the movement of the corridor. One misstep could lead to serious injury. The stunt team and camera crew also had to synchronize their movements with the rotating hallway, adjusting in real time to capture the scene's signature weightlessness. The result was one of the most technically demanding and visually stunning action sequences ever put to film. Nolan's approach wasn't just about creating a visually spectacular sequence, it was also inspired by classic filmmaking techniques. The rotating set technology was reminiscent of Stanley Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey, where similar methods were used to simulate zero gravity. By rejecting CGI and embracing practical effects, Nolan ensured that the scene had a real weight and authenticity that digital effects simply couldn't replicate. Snow Fortress sequence. From rotating hallways to bending cityscapes, Inception is filled with groundbreaking sequences, but one of its most visually striking set pieces is the Snow Fortress battle. This high-stakes, action-packed sequence, which serves as the climax of the film's third dream level, was heavily inspired by classic James Bond films, particularly on Her Majesty's Secret Service. To create this expansive dream world, Nolan and his team needed a vast, remote, and snow-covered landscape that could serve as the backdrop for an intense battle. They found exactly that at Fortress Mountain, an abandoned ski resort near Calgary, Canada. The location had been shut down for years, but its secluded nature and rugged terrain made it the perfect setting for the sequence. However, filming there was far from easy. Extreme weather conditions, freezing temperatures, high winds, and unpredictable snowfall created serious challenges for both the cast and crew. The actors had to perform physical combat and chase scenes in harsh, sub-zero temperatures, adding to the realism but also making shooting incredibly demanding. To make the environment as tangible as possible, the production team built large sections of the fortress on site, allowing the actors to interact with a physical structure rather than working with CGI backdrops. But for large-scale destruction shots, Nolan's team turned to miniatures, a technique used in classic action and sci-fi films. A highly detailed miniature model of the fortress was constructed and then blown up, creating a more realistic and visually stunning destruction sequence compared to fully digital explosions. This practical approach, combined with carefully executed stunt work and cinematography, gave the scene a raw, immersive feel that CGI alone couldn't replicate. One of the most complex effects in the sequence was the avalanche, which needed to be triggered as the dream world began collapsing. Instead of relying solely on CGI, the crew set off real explosions in the mountains to create an actual avalanche, capturing the moment from multiple camera angles. Additional controlled snow releases were used to enhance the effect and ensure the shots aligned with the action on screen, all while maintaining safety for the cast and crew. The sequence also featured high-intensity combat scenes on skis and snowmobiles, adding another layer of difficulty to the shoot. However, Tom Hardy, who played Eames, almost didn't get the role, because he didn't know how to ski. In a film where practical stunts were a priority, knowing how to ski was a crucial skill, and Hardy's lack of experience nearly cost him the part. Determined to master the craft, he underwent rigorous ski training before filming began. He later admitted that learning to ski while preparing for an action-packed film was a major challenge, but it ultimately paid off, allowing him to perform many of his own stunts. By blending real-world locations, practical explosions, miniatures, and even a real avalanche, Nolan crafted one of Inception's most ambitious set pieces. The decision to prioritize practical effects over CGI gave the sequence a level of authenticity and scale that few modern action films achieve. The Snow Fortress battle isn't just an action-packed moment, it's a testament to Nolan's filmmaking philosophy. Every element, from the brutal weather conditions to the real stunts and practical effects, contributes to the sequence's impact, making it one of the most memorable moments in Inception and modern cinema. If you like the story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. You don't want to miss the next wild story.